Anybody who's just turning on, we're just about to go live with a video followed by Mayor Levy Weinstein talking about the present incident of the Canadian Parliament honoring and praising a Nazi. We're going to show a live interview that was performed last night by Mayor prior to him coming on the screen. So please share this right now on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on our website, or on YouTube. Without any further ado, we're going to have a video of Mayor followed by Mayor, and I'll be back a little later with some more information. So please, I wouldn't say enjoy, but appreciate the show.
Mayor Weinstein, hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us despite the late hour in Canada. So we saw yesterday that the Canada Parliament Speaker has resigned, quits after the tribute to Nazi. Is it enough?
No, it's not enough at all. Not only that, but the Speaker, who I guess you could refer to right now as the former Speaker of the House, he personally invited this Nazi war criminal, SS Collaborator from the Ukraine, to the House of Commons to be given an honor. He said he knows him because he lives in his political riding, which is in North Bay area. And that's a problem. I sent a letter to the former Speaker of the House asking if he would join me to have a vigil in front of the home of this Nazi SS Collaborator from the Ukraine. I haven't heard back from him or anything, but there's a lot. There's a lot to be done. There's a lot to uncover here and unpackage. It's horrific.
So if it's not enough, what is your expectation?
Well, we've sent out letters to the Prime Minister of Canada demanding that he be stripped of his citizenship and deported. He came into this country illegally. He lied. And there's, in fact, video going around. There's a couple of things. There's video going around of another person who served in the same unit boasting about murdering Jews. That's outrageous. The video's on YouTube, easy to find. Also, this particular war criminal, he has been a contributor to a blog for former SS collaborators where he boasts. And he says in the years, I believe it says in the years from 43 to 45, those were his happiest years of his life. So he's not hiding anything. He tries to whitewash a little bit what he was doing in the Ukraine, but what they were doing, they were murdering Jews and Poles.
So did you get any official response from Trudeau?
Didn't get anything yet. Listen, I have a background on hunting Nazi war criminals. I testified at the Duchesne Commission, which was established to research and see exactly how many war criminals, Nazi war criminals there are in Canada. That was in the 1980s. I testified, I gave evidence about quite a few, and I worked with a lot of different Nazi hunters for years on this file.
So from your perspective, from your point of view, is it a symptom of anti-Semitism or inattention?
That's a good point. That's a good question. And here's the answer. In North Bay, there's been a lot of incidents of anti-Semitism in schools with kids. There was a Catholic school that was found out about a year ago where the kids on the soccer field, they were making Heil Hitler salutes and chanting Heil Hitler. There's other incidents of anti-Semitism in North Bay as well, and that's where he's from. So there's a serious problem of anti-Semitism, and these Nazi war criminals, they still believe that ideology, and they teach it. There's books. I've seen the books.
Yes, Mayor Weinstein, so it's not enough, this resigning. Thank you so much, and good night.
Shalom.
And just one more point to add. There's more information coming out every single day. It ends up that there's an actual endowment fund for this Nazi at the University of Alberta. In his name, an endowment fund. Can you believe it? And that's on the official website of the University of Alberta. Now, we're uncovering a lot of information about this war criminal. There's more to come. Like I mentioned in the interview that I had with Ynet Israeli media, he contributes to a blog, and he glorifies the years that he was serving in the Ukrainian Nazi SS. This is outrageous. He's public. The Speaker of the House had full knowledge who he is. I'm entertaining the thought that I'd like to contact his son and have a discussion with him and see where his head is at on this matter, because there are media reports when there was a rally for the Ukraine a year ago in North Bay that his son and his father, the SS man, was quoted in the article in a North Bay publication. So after the information that's coming forward right now and the history of the atrocities committed by the Ukrainian Nazi SS, I'd like to have a conversation with his son to go over it. We'll see what could be. It might be something that he never dreamed of, never thought of, and now he's thinking about. I don't know, but I would be very interested in having his son on the podcast with me, and we could have a discussion about the Holocaust, about the atrocities that were committed. I believe Gary has some information that he wants to share. So if Gary could come on and share that information.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm going to be on the screen in a minute. I'm going to show a couple of videos as well. Mayor, anytime you want to jump in, if you have something to say, by all means, say it. Otherwise, let me queue up a video. There'll be about a 4-second intro, which is on the video, just because it's how I'm going to queue it up. So without any further ado, make sure you're sharing this on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. This is a special report, as Mayor had mentioned, and it's about the Canadian House basically honoring and praising a Nazi. Anybody who missed it, unlikely to miss it.
A standing ovation for a Ukrainian veteran of the Second World War
who fought for Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today.
And JP, you've been trying to reach Yuraslov HUNKA.
Yeah, Ian, we've asked Yuraslov HUNKA and his family to comment. There's been no response.
What a surprise. No response. Shocking. Well, here he is. So let's talk about Yuraslov HUNKA, who was born in 1925 in what is now the Ukraine. By the way, my grandfather was from a shtetl in this area where, for sport, he watched Cossacks on horseback with sabers riding through his shtetl, chopping off the heads of Jewish children. So this is the area that Yuraslov, young Yuraslov, was nurtured in. Long before the Holocaust, tens of thousands of Jews were tortured and murdered for the crime of being Jewish in this area. By 1351, there had already been 350 pogroms. I mean, this goes way back to this region. 210 Jewish communities had been exterminated in the Middle Ages. It's in their blood, literally. In 1882, anti-Jewish riots broke out, and Jews were stripped of their land, and their livelihood as traders and artisans abruptly ended. On February 15, 1919, 1,500 Jewish civilians were slaughtered in this region. And by 1922, 1,200 pogroms had taken place with over 100,000 victims murdered. So in 1919, this is going on. A few years later, young Yuraslov was born. And at the age of 18, this is important to note, he voluntarily joined. This wasn't a draft. This wasn't the Nazis coming through. He could have either helped the Jews or he could have minded his own business, but he chose as a young teenager to enlist voluntarily in the Nazi Third Reich SS 1st Galician Division so we can continue the long tradition of torturing and murdering Jews in the region. There he is, young Slav. This is Heinrich Himmler, the architect of Holocaust, welcoming these volunteers. And there he is, officiating the official oath of duty to these future Jew murderers. In a speech to the soldiers, these volunteer soldiers, who again weren't forced, this is just a volunteer, Heimlich said, "Your homeland has become so much more beautiful since you have lost a dirty blemish on Galicia's good name, namely the Jews." And as if it's gone, this is in 2013 praising this Nazi division at a football stadium in the Ukraine. Again, this is still going on today. This is a memorial in Poland for over 100,000 innocent civilians murdered by this division of volunteers. And this, by the way, is a monument to Toronto honoring the murderous Nazi SS division. Are you kidding me? You can't make this stuff up. So Hans Friedrich was another proud teenage Austrian volunteer Jew killer in the Waffen-Grenadier Division of the Nazi Third Reich. And he is speaking in his native
Hans
tongue.
Friedrich gehörte damals der ersten Infanteriebrigade der Waffen-SS
Basically what he's talking about
Vor seinem
is
Tod
what he did.
2005
He has no
hat er in
remorse,
einem
no
Filminterview
regret. He did
zugegeben,
this interview at
am
the age of
Tod mehrerer
83.
tausend Juden beteiligt gewesen zu sein.
So the interviewer is talking to him, and Frederick is saying, he's saying to the interviewer, try to imagine a trench. People are standing, and the soldiers were standing behind them. You would shoot, and they fell down. So the interviewer says, what were you thinking or feeling? And Frederick has nothing. I only thought, aim carefully. That's what I thought about. The interviewer was fairly shocked when she said to Frederick, that was your only thought? You never had any compassion with or for the Jewish civilians you had shot? Frederick answered no. The interviewer said, and why not? Which Frederick responds, my hate towards the Jews, is too big for that. This is the same group of volunteers that Yuraslov HUNKA volunteered for, who got a standing ovation and praise from the Canadian House.
Ziele vorsichtig. Damit man aber richtig trifft. Das war meine Überlegung.
So there they are lining up the Jews,
Das war die einzige Überlegung.
shooting
Während der
them
ganzen
and then
Zeit haben
pushing
sie
into a
keinerlei
grave that they
Gefühl für
dug
die
for
Leute gehabt
themselves.
und die jüdischen Zivilisten, die sie erschossen haben.
Nein.
No
Und warum
remorse,
nicht?
no regret.
Dazu ist mein Hass den Juden gegenüber zu groß.
Of course, my hate towards the Jews is too big for that. So what did
Obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake and has apologized.
really? I don't think that's quite enough. What else?
I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation.
Could you believe that? He's blaming it, and he's trying to punt and kind of not take responsibility or blame, and he's blaming it on he's blaming the Nazi on Russian propaganda. Mayor, that's about all I could think of saying. If it wasn't so sad and tragic, it would be satirical. Mayor, back to you.
Yes. I'm going to ask everyone, all of our friends and supporters out there, and please share this video. Also, go on our website, israelnow.ca. We have a lot of work to do. We want to get the government to deport these Nazis. They should be stripped of their citizenship immediately, and they should be deported. There's a lot of work that's going into this, a lot of hours. Go on our website, make a donation, make a contribution. There's a lot of work that we have to do. This is the epitome of evil, and I want you to join with us in exposing it and fighting against it and pushing to get these Nazis out of Canada. Thank you very much. I'm Mayor Weinstein. Thank you. Shalom, shalom.